guy. So screw Alvin Bragg, screw Gaston, and this is what you need. You need courageous people. It is really unusual for a DA in one county in another state to say no extradition to New York when the suspect is murdered in New York. He's only stabbed in Arizona. So that's quite a statement that the Arizona Maricopa County DA made there. Now, when we come back, one of the nuttiest trials that we've seen in a while is this Rebecca Grossman case. Rebecca Grossman is the socialite, wealthy woman who prosecutors say ran over and killed two young boys in a crosswalk because she was going 81 miles an hour, and she had been drinking and taking Xanax. And this wacky attorney that she has, Tony Bugsby, has tried to say that the boyfriend that Rebecca Grossman is running around with, he hit the boys first. So, no, I mean, there's no evidence of that at all. But Tony Bugsby just keeps repeating it over and over. You know, that's what you do with propaganda. The thing is, Rebecca Grossman, you would think would want to testify and say, hey, it wasn't me. It was the boyfriend, Scott Erickson. I know, I was there. I saw it. She wouldn't testify on her behalf. Why not? She's got the truth. She's the primary witness. Her attorney has this crazy theory. We're going to talk with Corbin Carson. He was in court today. That's next. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. You can listen to KFI everywhere, like you haven't noticed.
KFI.
KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the Apple Radio app.
Not too bad this time around. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A civil engineer in Pasadena says Southern California handled the recent rain pretty well.
John Abelson says despite an aging infrastructure, the large amounts of water that accumulated drained properly.
Even though LA's rainfall average may be around 14, 15 inches of rain per year, we very rarely actually see that 14, 15 inches of rain occurring in any given year.
Abelson's withstand tactic says when it rains in large quantities, he's more worried about clogged storm drains than the area's infrastructure. Looking ahead, he says cities have to adopt a more green, eco-friendly approach to wastewater. Steve Gregory, KFI News.
Firefighters are working to rescue a horse that's trapped in a sinkhole in Lakeview Terrace. LA City Fire says the 1,200-pound horse was trapped up to its chest and neck in very soft soil in the backyard of a home. LAFD says the horse may have to be fit with a harness so it can be airlifted out of that hole. Lawyers have started closing arguments in a murder trial where Rebecca Grossman is charged with killing two children in a crosswalk in Westlake Village.
Jurors can only consider murder if prosecutors proved Grossman knew that allegedly speeding 81 in a 45 in 2020 could be deadly. Otherwise, if there's a conviction, jurors could take vehicular manslaughter if prosecutors proved a reasonable person with no such speeding is deadly. Jurors were reminded of a 2013 speeding ticket where Grossman was warned speeding could kill. The defense disputes the speed and claims another SUV hit the boys first, and investigators never checked that car for damage. At Van Nuys Courthouse, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
Officials have blamed California's growing budget deficit on lower income taxes.
The Legislative Analyst's Office is now projecting a $73 billion budget deficit through June of 2025. California Senate Budget Committee Vice Chair Roger Nilo says the income tax drops are primarily from higher earners who contribute to the majority of income tax revenue.
They're not losing their job, and they're still making a lot of money. It's just significantly less than it was before.
The Legislative Analyst's Office says state lawmakers should consider cuts to one-time spending and temporary spending. Blake Trolley, KFI News.
If you're leaving on a jet plane, the IRS will be tracking you. The agency says it's going to start conducting audits on private jets and how they're used by executives of large corporations. It says the audits will focus on how they are written off as tax deductions in its ongoing mission of going after high-wealth tax cheats. The IRS says it will be looking at high-income taxpayers and whether the tax purpose of the jet use is being properly allocated. It says there are more than 10,000 corporate jets in the U.S., valued at tens of millions of dollars. The KFI Financial Update is sponsored by Revive Real Estate. The Dow closed up 48, S&P 500 up 6, NASDAQ down 50.
Revive Real Estate will buy your home, then renovate it, then sell it, and pay you again for the additional profit from the renovation. Go to kfirevive.com to see if your home qualifies.
Southline weather from KFI, partly cloudy tomorrow with highs in the mid-60s to around 70 for Metro LA, the valleys, beaches, inland OC, and the IE, 50s to around 60 in the high desert. We are going to a car fire on the 405 in Carson.
It's on the 405 southbound before you get to the 110, the carpool and the left lane are blocked with this. It is stopped coming away from Artesia Boulevard. And it looks like in Downey, 710 northbound, right before you get to Firestone Boulevard. Got a disabled vehicle in the second lane from your left. You're hitting the brakes from the 105. 605 southbound before Washington. Got that stalled car over to the right shoulder. In Tufton on the 5 northbound before the 55. That injury accident still blocking the right lane. Just about to clear this out of your way. But your 5 northbound has slowing all the way from the 133. And Sherman Oaks, 405 northbound before Burbank Boulevard. Got a disabled vehicle, the second lane from your left is going to be blocked there. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jenny Harmon.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infection from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredient. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headaches, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
You can live out your master chef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well, inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Americans pay about $5 billion a year to control termites and repair the damage. More than floods, earthquakes, hurricanes combined. Call Pacific Coast Termite at 800 Pacific for a free home inspection. Certain restrictions apply. No tanking ever. Call 800 Pacific. 800 Pacific. Visit PacificCoastTermite.com. Call 800 Pacific.
Pacific Coast Termite. Kills termites.
The clean, friendly way. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, sports, talk, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. KFR AM 640.
John Cobell Show, KFI, AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We're on from 1 to 4, after 4 o'clock, whatever you missed, John Cobell Show on demand on the iHeart app. And we'll keep hammering this all day long until you get sick of it. Maybe you're already sick of it. We're doing the show tomorrow at the Honda Center in Anaheim, parking lot 4. We'll be on from 1 till 4. They're going to be taking, you're going to be able to sign petitions from 1 until 6, though. And the petitions are going to fix Prop 47. So that stealing stuff becomes a felony again. Doing drugs leads to jail time unless you get treatment. And if you're selling fentanyl, that's going to become a much more serious felony. And you'll go to prison if you kill somebody after selling them the fentanyl. But that's the highlights of it. So Honda Center, you have to take the Ball Road entrance 1 to 6 to sign the petitions. 1 to 4 is the live broadcast. Todd Spitzer is going to be with us among many others. And we'll keep telling you this every 10 minutes. Now, on to Corbin Carson from KFI News, because we're coming to the end to the Rebecca Grossman case. Rebecca Grossman is the socialite, the husband of Peter Grossman, founder of the Grossman Burn Center. And Rebecca was driving her white Mercedes. She hit two young boys, Mark and Jacob Iskander, killed them, says the prosecution. The defense has claimed that the boys were hit by her boyfriend, Scott Erickson, first, even though the damage was all in Rebecca's car. And where are we? Is the trial over? Is the jury deliberating yet? What's going on?
No, we're not there. Today is all about restating the evidence with these closing arguments and instructing the jury on the rules for hit and run and either 2 counts of gross vehicular manslaughter or 2 counts of second-degree murder. Now, prosecutors opened this morning after jury instructions, and the defense just started. Now, this is all important because the worst parts of the case must be brought up again. I mean, complete with cute pictures of the boys displayed on monitors this morning, and that includes, the graphic nature of their death, the horrific injuries. But it's important to remember that many of these emotionally tragic details are not directly relevant to if Grossman was speeding, that she knew what she was doing was deadly and so forth, in order to distinguish between manslaughter and murder. The boys were killed, and that's horrible, but this part is about who did it and the implied alleged malice involved. And that's where these details matter. So just to explain that, for second-degree murder, the jury must find Grossman had malice aforethought, in this case, implied malice. The other type would be express malice. That would be like shooting or stabbing someone with the intent to kill them. But implied malice doesn't mean that she meant to kill, but that a reasonable person would know that speeding the alleged 81 miles per hour in a 45 miles per hour zone could kill. Otherwise, a lesser charge must be chosen. This could be vehicular manslaughter with gross or ordinary negligence. The difference between gross vehicular manslaughter and implied malice is the knowledge. For vehicular manslaughter, prosecutors must prove a person engaged in a speed contest, and we've heard evidence that she was racing, that they didn't yield to the pedestrian, that would be going through the crosswalk, allegedly through the crosswalk, killing the kids, and that she didn't immediately stop.
What up, 2 times?
And as we know, or at least as evidence has been presented,
What up, 2 times?
Going for about 3/10 of a mile. All of these
Hope you're living like a villain.
Different potential sentences, and all of this is assuming the jury does reach a verdict and that Grossman is actually convicted. And man, once the jury gets this, John, I can imagine that they have to go through each one of these analyses. And remember that the defense put up a witness to dispute everything that prosecutors allege. I mean, and so there's just a ton of information and all these really important details to go through.
I was thinking about this case yesterday as I was driving around, because part of the defense explanation is Scott Erickson, the boyfriend, actually hit the kids.
Right.
And they bounced off his car, and then she hit the boys. And the boys ended up, far down the road from her impact.
Right.
And they were going through how Erickson's car was higher, so the boys would have been hit to the ground. Whereas Rebecca's car was lower, so she would launch them into the air. Is that about what they were saying?
That's what they're saying. And prosecutors, again, they went through all the different pieces of evidence today, the black box data showing the 81 miles per hour, the Valium and alcohol in her system. Again, this is prosecutors alleging these things. And one of the things that also came up was what you're talking about, the kind of force. This was what the prosecutor said today, that Grossman allegedly hit the boys with was like taking a crane, hooking it to the back of her vehicle, raising it to a 12-story building, and dropping it. And that caused 5 inches of damage on her Mercedes by the 11-year-old's body. And the point of all that is, the prosecutors say that kind of force is not the result of a child bouncing off one car and landing on the second car.
That's what I was thinking about, because what they say about Erickson's car, the boy would have hit the ground and then bounced back up and then hit Grossman's car, and that makes no sense. And then she would propel the body.
No, just to clarify, the boy would have been bounced up in the air, and then the idea is, at least the defense's theory is that, seconds later, her car is coming up. So before he has a chance to hit the ground, it's perfectly hitting his body and then tossing him 254 yards. The physics is strange.
No,
they had witnesses who would break that down.
That sounds like the bullet that made 6 right turns to kill John F. Kennedy. The magic bullet. I mean that really that's Tony Busby. That is preposterous theory. That really is. I mean, the physics.
Let me just give you a little more. Let me just give you a little bit more of why that matters. First of all, I just ran down here when they started, and their opening line started with a sign on the TV monitors in court that reads "Justice for All." And Busby started off by saying, "If it please the court, where is Scott Erickson?" And I'm quoting him. Why have they made no effort to find him or even look at his vehicle? Why did he lie? Why did he make threats? I think we all know why. There's a lot of interest here, but Erickson is not here.
So why didn't the defense call him? Why wasn't he subpoenaed?
That's the greatest one. That's the hugest hole in this investigation. I mean, the prosecutor said, hey, look, this investigation was not perfect, but then they go back to the black box, the 8 witnesses that saw her speeding, the only her stuff in the car, only debris from her car found. But one of the interesting things is about Erickson's SUV, that Orange County DA investigator Michael Hale, he was called as a rebuttal witness to refute the defense experts who claimed that the data was flawed. And along with that testimony, they asked him, why was Erickson never asked to be looked at? Why was his vehicle never looked at? And then and they also asked, in response to a question from the defense, Hale said he was never asked to find Erickson's car and see what the front end looked like. Jurors were told that Erickson told investigators he was driving a 2007 Mercedes the night of the incident, but images from the video show it was more likely his 2016 Mercedes. And then the investigator admitted that he found Erickson used the same license plate on both vehicles, which, if true, would be a felony. That is what the defense is calling reasonable doubt.
Okay, so why not call Erickson to the stand? And why not have Rebecca Grossman testify in her own defense? Because she was there. She would have seen it if Scott hit the boys first and they bounced into her car somehow. But
now,
she's
one of the
not
big things about
either.
Right, and then first of all, the jurors were told that it is a constitutional right not to testify, and that the jury cannot read anything into that.
Well, I
She's
would.
allowed to not testify for whatever reason because the burden of proof is on the prosecution.
Yeah, well, I'd hold it against her. And I don't have to tell anybody that that's what I'm doing. Because if they're right, she would say so. I would. If I'm street racing with my friend, he hits 2 kids and they bounce off my car, and I'm getting all the blame, and I might go to prison for life. Oh, I'm sure as hell on the stand saying, it's this guy over here. He hit him first.
But remember, John, she would then also have to answer all the other points of information, the black box data, the debris, and all that she would have to say under risk of perjury. So a lot of the times for defense lawyers, it's not worth the risk.
One more question. Has it ever come up that maybe Erickson was getting special treatment because he was a baseball player and a former Dodger? And
the defense says that.
The defense is saying
that
that?
from the block.
Yeah,
the defense says it's clear that the prosecution was never interested in justice. That's what they're saying. They never were interested in even checking this guy's car or calling him in or tracking him down. But again, there's a lot of evidence on the prosecution side to dispute those claims.
No, I mean, 81 miles an hour, alcohol, Valium, all the
strength of her on the boy. Yep.
Yeah, the dents on her car.
Witnesses.
Yeah.
Crash data.
All right, I'm voting guilty. In case they need another juror, I'm ready. I'll go.
I'm not voting at all.
I understand that. I understand. You're supposed to be a neutral observer.
Exactly.
All right, Corbin, good work on this, and look forward to the next chapter. Thank you for coming on.
Hopefully it's a verdict that we'll have at some point soon.
Yes, Corbin Carson in court on the Rebecca Grossman case. When we come back, there is a U.S. Senator begging Californians never to let Gavin Newsom anywhere near the White House. We got that clip, and there's a lot of bad news today about Gavin Newsom's mismanagement of the state. That's coming up. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Sheriff's detectives are investigating the death of a child in Lancaster. Deputies went to a home on 57th Street West around 11 last night. On a report of a child bleeding and not breathing, the boy reportedly had cuts and abrasions on his chest and was pronounced dead at a hospital. Former LA County Sheriff Villanueva has been booted off X. He's now a candidate for a seat on the County Board of Supervisors and was reported to the social media platform for allegedly harassing his opponent, incumbent Janice Hahn. Villanueva took to Instagram and did confirm he's been suspended on X, calling it Dirty Politics 101. The Biden administration has announced more than $1 billion of student loan debt forgiveness. Borrowers in the Saving on a Valuable Education or SAVE program who have made at least 10 years of payments will be getting an email from President Biden today. We're going to go to the 91 next.
If you have a bad vision, everything's blurry, I did. I hated it. Big, thick glasses. I went to Dr. Charles Manger at Saddleback Eye Center, and he has a laser light LASIK exam procedure. It starts with the laser light exam. The laser light exam has a laser that measures your eyes over 1,000 times, so he gets a perfect blueprint of your vision. Then you go and get the procedure done. It's only 20 minutes. There's no pain. There's no discomfort. It doesn't hurt nothing. I went through it, and you walk out of there with 20/20 vision or better. I did. You got to do this. This cures your nearsightedness, farsightedness, astigmatism, reading glasses. You have to call now, though. Be one of the first 14 callers. First 14 callers now. Schedule a free LASIK exam. You get it for free. You call 866-559-4444. That's Saddleback. 866-559-4444. 866-559-4444.
From the Southern California Toyota dealers, Traffic Center Let's Go places. We're going to a crash on the 91 in Anaheim.
Gradually, some right at Brookhurst Street got a brand new accident. It's going to be blocking the carpool lane. In Pico Rivera, 605 southbound before Washington, got that stall cleared to the right shoulder. Still some slowing as you make your way down to the 5. In Carson, 405 southbound before you get to the 110. Still got that crash and a car fire blocking the carpool and the left lane. In Duarte on the 210 eastbound at the 605, heads up a ladder in the carpool lane. And in Ranch Cucamonga, 210 eastbound before Milliken. Got that accident clearing over to the shoulder. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jenny Harmon.
This report is sponsored by personal injury firm Owen Patterson and Owen.
I'm Susan Owen, managing partner at personal injury law firm Owen Patterson and Owen. That means I oversee everything. For over 47 years, OPO has been and will always be there when you need us. Call us today, 888-OPO-WINS or OPOLaw.com. Make mornings golden with Eggo products from your local Amazon Fresh grocery store. On sale now. Buy 2 packs of select frozen Eggo waffles and French toast sticks for just $5 while supplies last. Flavor is in full bloom at your local Amazon Fresh grocery store. Find a store near you.
Bad breath is no fun. Let me introduce you to Zellman's Minty Mouth. It's a tiny little capsule you swallow, mint on the outside, parsley seed oil on the inside, and clinically tested against the toughest offenders, even garlic and onions. And it's not just a mint. You pop 2 or 3 in your mouth, you suck the minty coating, and then you swallow the capsule for fresh, clean breath that lasts for hours. And biting into them also works. And it doesn't just cover up your bad breath. It cleans your breath in a way other mints can't. It fights bad breath in your mouth and goes down to your gut and really goes to work. Zellman's gives you a money-back guarantee I know you'll never use. There's free shipping if you order 3 packs or more, and trust me, you're going to want more. And I've known the folks behind Zellman's for over 30 years, so I proudly stand behind this product. Go to Zellmans.com, Zellmins.com, 15% off when you use the code KFI, Zellmans, Zellmins.com, 15% off when you use the code KFI, Zellmans, Zellmins.com. Hi, this is Scott Sam with the Tax Defense Group. Do you have unfiled tax returns that are keeping you up at night? Dial 855-829-2455. It's like DEFCON 1 to the IRS right now. Don't wait for your garnishment. Don't let the IRS take from you and your family. You've gotta move before they garnish your wages. Call my team today, and we'll go to bat for you. See if we can even reduce the amount that you have to pay. Dial 855-829-2455. Call us today. Hey, it's Dean Sharp. You thinking about selling your home? Let's pump the brakes for a second. If it's not in tip-top shape, you're missing out on 20 to 50% of its profit potential. So before you sell, call the good folks at Revive to see if you qualify for the most innovative selling solution I know. Sell 360. Sell 360 is not like other quick purchase programs. Yes, it starts with Revive buying your home at a fair price, but that's not where it ends. After Revive purchases, renovates, and sells it, you receive a second check for the profit from the renovation. Yeah, with Sell 360, you get a second check. On average, qualified homeowners are seeing an additional $188,000 that they would have otherwise left on the table. With Sell 360, you can sell your home quickly and unlock its full profit potential. See if your home qualifies at kfirevive.com or dial pound 250 and say revive. That's kfirevive.com or dial pound 250 and say revive. The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like the Beatles Now and Then, celebrating all things Beatles. Legendary clips, deep cuts, live performances, and all their solo hits. Just open the free iHeartRadio app and search the Beatles Now and Then and listen now. iHeartRadio, free never sounded so good.
iHeartRadio.
KFI AM 640.
The news, what it means, why it matters.
John Cobell Show, KFI, AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And we're on from 1 till 4, then after 4 o'clock, John Cobell Show on demand on the iHeart app, so you can listen to what you missed. We are going to be at the Honda Center tomorrow afternoon from 1 until 4, and you will sign petitions to fix Prop 47. 3 major ways it's going to fix. It's going to start throwing retail thieves in prison, drug users, drug sellers will get a choice of treatment or jail. And thirdly, fentanyl sellers will be going to prison and stay longer. And if they kill somebody, they'll be charged with murder. That's right. That's for throwing murderers in prison. A little celebratory music. Ball Road is the entrance. Ball Road entrance at the Honda Center from 1 until 4 tomorrow. And a thanks to Todd Spitzer, the Orange County DA, for helping us set this up. And Todd will be on with us at 3:30. Okay. There's a lot of not good news coming out of Sacramento. They have really fouled things up, and you will see. We will start, though, with Tennessee Senator Rand Paul. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. And he was at the Reagan Library in Simi Valley. And he gave a speech and told the audience, never, ever let Gavin Newsom anywhere near the White House. Let's play the clip.
As regular people who love our country, how do we let our legislators know we want our country back? We live in California. What can we do? Never, ever let Gavin Newsom anywhere near the White House. I think we're united on that one. Great. Oh, Adam Schiff as well. I'm just relaying what I'm hearing. It'd be a competition to who's worst between those two.
And here's why. Rand Paul said, never again should we let them lock us down. Never again should we be put into this situation. Never again we should allow them to come into our schools. Never again should we let them set foot into one of our churches. Liberty requires eternal vigilance, and I'm going to keep fighting with every breath I have. Rand Paul was correct several years ago in going after Anthony Fauci and all of Fauci's nonsense, funding the research in Wuhan that led to the enhanced coronavirus that came and killed 1 million people in America. He was on to the Fauci scam early on. He's a doctor. He's got an MD. He's an optometrist, I believe. And he's been in the Senate for a long time. He's also a libertarian-style Republican. He believes in this concept, which I couldn't believe is fading away in our culture to some extent. It's freedom. And when you look back on it now, and I knew we would get to this day, but the idea that the government was shutting down our schools and a lot of kids couldn't get educated for a year and a half, that is so atrocious that they wouldn't even do in communist countries, that they were shutting down church services, that we were giving all kinds of... Remember for a while you couldn't even go to the beach? You couldn't play tennis? And they were wrong about so much of it. And then forcing vaccines, or you can get fired, or you can't go to school. And now what did we find out yesterday? I don't know if you heard. But it turns out there are quite a few side effects, including side effects that on the heart, inflammation of the heart muscle. It's not an overwhelming number, but it's a number, and it's a risk. And a lot of young male athletes got affected by that. A lot of young males in general got affected by it. And other people as well. And I don't know, I think we should have enough freedom that if we don't want to take a vaccine because it hasn't been researched very much, and we don't know the side effects, and side effects were popping up right away, I should have the right to say, look, I don't want that. I'm not taking that risk, sorry. But yet so many people were scolded and browbeaten and threatened. You're threatened with your job because you don't want to take a medical treatment that hasn't been researched very much. Seriously, that went on in America. It really did. And all these smug, arrogant, pompous scolds trying to force you in. And I got some of the vaccines. At some point, I decided to stop because just there's a limit to how many foreign bodies I want injected into my system. But you know that can't be repeated. I mean, this really was a dictatorship, and it all came under Gavin Newsom. They didn't do this in a lot of other states, and they didn't have any different outcomes. That's what's really funny. All the different ways different governors or different countries treated the whole crisis, outcomes were pretty similar across the board. We just happen to have this control-freak dictatorial philosophy that came from Gavin Newsom and the legislative Democrats. Because really, ultimately, what drives these people is control over the most minor aspect of your life. But Rand Paul is right. Never again. Now, there are a number of there's more bad news, but I'm going to get to it in the next segment. We've been telling you about this, too, for years. This is a big I told you so out. That all this climate change, all these rules, regulations, taxes, new ways of getting energy, this and that, is going to cause your utility bills to hit the roof. Well, they've gone through the roof, and now people are really upset. And now Democratic politicians are feeling the heat, and they're starting to panic because people are so upset. And by the way, the budget deficit is huge, much bigger than they thought, even with the highest taxes that we pay in the nation. And the only good thing about that is it looks like socialized medical care in California is dead for this year. I'll tell you about this. This is really about the rise of the communist philosophy in California. We'll get to it coming up. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
A student accused of plotting to kill his classmates in Ontario is expected to be examined by a psychologist in jail.
Sebastian Villaseñor was in court for a pre-preliminary hearing. San Bernardino Superior Court Judge Richard Peel approved a request from the 18-year-old's defense team yesterday, allowing a psychologist to make a jailhouse examination. Villaseñor has pleaded not guilty to 5 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of attempted criminal threat. Police in Ontario have said Villaseñor was planning a shooting at Ontario Christian School, that he was obsessed with school shootings and had potential victims ID'd. The defense has said Villaseñor suffers from cognitive issues. The next court date is March 18th. Michael Monks, KFI News.
A person suspected of a cross-country violent crime spree has been arrested in Arizona in connection with 2 stabbings. ABC's Mark Remillard says Rod Al-Mansouri is accused of stabbing one person during a carjacking and stabbing another inside a McDonald's last Sunday.
Those incidents coming as Al-Mansouri was separately wanted in connection with the death of a 38-year-old woman inside a Soho hotel here in Manhattan earlier this month.
Remillard says charges have yet to be filed. Officials are tracing his movements and looking at potential crimes in Florida and Texas as well. A flight to L.A. from New Jersey has been diverted to Chicago because of a passenger who allegedly made a bomb threat. The FAA classified the disturbance this morning as a level 2 threat. Another passenger posted on social media that someone allegedly went into a restroom and made the threat, and then they had to leave all their stuff behind when that plane landed. An American Airlines flight out of Albuquerque, New Mexico has had to turn back shortly after takeoff because a passenger allegedly tried to open an emergency exit. This guy was also on that flight yesterday and says he heard the commotion in the back.
The guy sitting next to him heard him say, "I got to get off this plane." We all managed to kind of rip him off the door.
Another passenger says the man who tried to open the door ripped down the handle where it exposed some of the emergency exit, and wind was rushing in The flight was met by police when it returned to the gate. We are going to go to the 5 next.
Get hurt in an accident, that can change your life. And you need Sweet James in that situation. Sweet James gives you the power. When one of my listeners got hurt in a motorcycle accident, he was shocked. Got a low ball offer from the insurance company. So he called Sweet James. And they got him the medical care he needed. And he was able to recover as quickly as possible and get back on the bike. And they fought tirelessly, and he won $400,000. If you're ever hurt in an accident, you need a team of local attorneys who have the care, the skill, and the resources to win the most. Compensation is a huge part of that. It's also about compassion, care, and justice. Sweet James brings over 500 trials of experience to every case, big or small, and that's why they win 98% of the time, and they win big. So call Sweet James. Number is 800-9-million. 800-9-million. They can't guarantee the outcome, but you want them by your side. 800-9-million. 800-9-million. That's 800-9-000-000. SweetJames.com.
Southland weather from KFI. It's going to be partly cloudy tomorrow with highs in the mid-60s to around 70 for Metro LA, the Valley's beaches, inland OC, and the IE. 50s to around 60 in the high desert. Right now, 62 in San Juan Capistrano with 64 in Stanton. We're going to Escala on the 5 in Downey.
Well, find out down at Lakewood, it looks like they have just cleared that from the lanes, but it's going to be a slow one coming away from the 605. Also in Downey on the 710 northbound before Firestone. That disabled vehicle still in the 7 lane from your left. You're hitting the brakes now from Rosecrans Avenue. Santa Fe Springs, 605 north at 5, got a wreck clearing to the shoulder. And in Anaheim, 91 east out of Brookhurst, got that crash blocking the carpool lane. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Judy Harmon.
Dive into hibernation mode with a huge deal on deeper sleep during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Shop now and save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and receive a $300 instant gift for pillows and more. Plus, get free and fast delivery to your door. Restrictions apply.
At Cooling to be, call Jacob and Mommy. Call Jacob.
Get more RV for your dollar at Mike Thompson's RV in Cathedral City at MikeThompson.com.
Termite problems? Search PacificCoastTermite.com or call 800-PACIFIC.
Tim Connell of Connell Chevrolet, Costa Mesa. Get 2.9% APR long-term financing on over 100 23 and 24 Silverado 1500 pickups during our President's Day sale at ConnellChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive at Connell Chevrolet, the Orange County original since 1964.
Sometimes you don't realize something was bothering you.
Until it's gone.
That's how you're going to feel.
After we work on magic at your house.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Don't miss the legendary Glenn Miller Orchestra, the most popular big band orchestra in the world today, playing favorites like In the Mood and Moonlight Serenade, Sunday afternoon, March 3rd. Tickets at LaMaradaTheater.com.
I'm attorney Darren Capanoki, founder of 1-800-NO-COPS, reminding you to exercise your right to shut the up. It doesn't make you look guilty, it makes you look smart. 1-800-NO-COPS, because no one looks good in handcuffs unless you're into that sort of thing. 1-800-NO-COPS.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Get ready for our 2024 iHeart Podcast Award, presented by The Hartford, live at South by Southwest.
Celebrating the best of the best.
And the winner is watch live Monday, March 11th on iHeartRadio's YouTube channel and listen on iHeartRadio stations across America. Audible is a proud sponsor of the Social Impact Award. Discover the best selection of audiobooks anywhere, plus binge-worthy podcasts and exclusive Audible originals. There's more to imagine when you listen. Try Audible for free when you sign up at audible.com.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
John Cobell Show, KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and we're on from 1 until 4. After 4 o'clock, John Cobell Show on demand on the iHeart app. That's our podcast. We are going to talk to Todd Spitzer in an hour, the Orange County District Attorney. He's going to be with us tomorrow as well at the Honda Center in Anaheim. We are going to do the show from Lot 4 at the Honda Center from 1 to 4 o'clock, and you're going to be signing petitions. You have to show up and sign the petitions to fix Prop 47. You can sign petitions from 1 to 6. Our show's on from 1 to 4. The Honda Center can be accessed only from Ball Road. So find the Ball Road entrance, and then you will see us in Lot 4. And you can sit and enjoy the show. You can just do a drive-by, sign the petition, and run off. Again, major revision of Prop 47. It starts putting retail thieves in prison. It starts putting people who sell drugs, possess and use drugs, do that out in public. It's jail or it's treatment. Those are the only two options. You get a choice. Go to treatment, you go to jail. And third thing is fentanyl sellers really clamps down on their activities. You get real prison time, and eventually, if you kill somebody, you'll go to prison for murder. So those are three of the main components. We'll get into all the details tomorrow. Again, 1 until 4. We'll be doing the show from Lot 4 at the Honda Center in Orange County. And by the way, all 6 Southern California counties, there'll be petitions for you to sign. LA, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, San Diego, Ventura. So if you want to take a good drive and have a fun afternoon, it's going to be sunny tomorrow. So we're going to have the best weather of the week. And now on to the gross mismanagement from the boob that's our governor, Gavin Newsom. By the way, we're going to do Alex Stone first. Okay, sorry, yeah. Let's do Alex Stone first, and then we'll get to
No, wait, I want to hear the story.
No, you'll have to wait now. You can barging into the show like this, you know?
All right, fine. I'll wait and listen.
No, I'm just too excited. I shuffled the papers. And, all right, Alex, what do you got here?
We're talking unruly passengers of another big case that went on.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it. There's been 200 cases of unruly passengers.
Yeah, already this year. We're, a month and 21 days into the year, and then you can add another one to it. So the latest one being American Airlines Flight 1219. It came yesterday afternoon. They were taking off out of Albuquerque. They were lifting off for Chicago. Passengers on board could hear a guy creating a commotion. He told the man sitting next to him, I got to get off this plane, pulled the cover off of the emergency exit handle on the overwing exit, started working to open the door, and was somewhat successful in being able to do it. They were still low enough at about 20,000 feet that you get higher, and the pressure difference is so great that it's almost impossible to open up a door in flight. But he was able to do it, where get a little bit of a crack in the door. People on board reacted. They pounced on him. This guy was on board telling us
There's probably 4 or 5 people, and we all managed to kind of rip them off the door, which we were trying to open, and get him into the aisle.
And they got him into the aisle. They tackled him. They held him down. They struggled with him.
Once he was in the aisle, I sat on him while some other people held his legs. Other people had him, were holding onto his arms.
So John, then flight attendants brought the group duct tape and zip ties, and they duct taped the guy's legs together and zip tied his hands behind him. And the pilots were then simultaneously turning the plane around. They made an emergency landing in Albuquerque. But the part of this that people on board are saying really freaked them out was that they could hear that the door opened a little bit, and they could feel the pressure difference. That, again, they weren't high enough to make that a lot more difficult, but they were low enough where he was able to open it up a little bit before they ripped him out of there. This guy, Blaze Ward, he also jumped on the guy. He said he could feel the door open.
I could hear the actual difference in pressure. There's a whistle. And so we got him out of his seat. We unbuckled the harness, put him down onto the ground, and that's where we applied the duct tape and foot straps.
When they got on the ground, Albuquerque police, they boarded, took the guy off. He was already restrained by everybody on board. They handed him over to the FBI. The FBI is investigating. We're waiting to see if he's going to be charged. If they determine it's a mental health crisis, then he'll go down a different road because you won't have charges against him. But pretty freaky. There was another one today, New York to LAX, a United flight. They had to divert to Chicago. They're still waiting to still head to LAX. That now we found out from sources, initially it sounded like there was an unruly passenger on there as well. Turned out that was a written bomb threat that was found in the lavatory. Nice. And so they had to land. Everybody had to get off. They had to search the Dreamliner. Everybody had to be searched on board in their bags. So they're waiting to continue on now. So 2 of these in a 24-hour period.
What is it supposed to be that easy to push open the emergency door? No. So there's physics that come into play based on pressure difference, but if you're low enough, yeah, it can be because they want you to be able to open it up on the ground. I didn't know that. Yeah, if there was some kind of an emergency. But then once you get up and you're at a high enough altitude, because the doors are, you got to pull them in and then throw them out the window because it presses up as not to get too dorky here, but as the fuselage expands as you're going up, just like your bag of chips and your water bottle and everything expands as the air expands as you go higher. That pushes the door more out, so you're not able to pull it in, and it's glued by pressure up against the side of the plane in the plug that it is. And then once you get lower, then that pressure difference is less, and you can pull it in and then push it out. But they were like 20,000 feet, so they weren't all that high, which is good because if he had been able to get it open at all higher up, could have been a very different outcome if he had He-Man and been able to do it. But they were low enough where if they had not stopped him, he could have done it and opened up that door and then jumped out or done whatever he wanted. Because if he was on drugs, if he was on meth, that gives guys superhuman strength. Yeah, and he might have been able to do more. The claim is that no matter who you are, that you're not going to be able to do it at 35,000 feet. But I don't know. There have been people who've tried, and typically they're taken down before they can do it. Unless the door is missing its bolts. Well, there is that. If there are no bolts, then whoop, it goes right up. 200 reports already this year, and it's just past the middle of February. That seems like a very high number. Yeah, it's not compared to the pandemic when there were all the mask fights on board. Remember, there'd be like 10 or 12 a day that we'd be talking about this one, that one, and some were more egregious than others. But in a normal time now, yeah, whether it be alcohol being involved, mental health stuff, anxiety, which I guess would be mental health, people have panic attacks and feel like they've got to get out of there. I just don't remember this. Is this being reported more, or I don't remember? Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything. I think it's being reported more, that we pay more attention to it. It seems that there are a lot more people who get on and they're stressed out and they're angry and they lash out and they don't want to do what the flight attendant said. Maybe a little bit of entitlement there and other things. And maybe flight crews reacting differently, where maybe back in the day, not so much opening up a door, but some of the others, if somebody yells at a flight attendant or, ignores what they're saying, maybe in 20 years ago, flight attendants would have been, well, that guy's a jerk, and continued on. And now they're going to tell the captain's going to report it, and they're going to turn the plane around, and the FBI is going to board and investigate it. So it feels like going on a plane, you're going into combat. Well, yeah, and by the way, there was another one this week, not unruly, but a San Francisco to Boston flight, Boeing 757, 30-year-old aircraft, and part of the wing ripped off. And yeah, I saw that. Yeah, they had to make emergency landing in Denver. It was at the leading edge of Boeing. Did you say it was a Boeing plane? A Boeing, yeah, that was a Boeing 757, yeah. A lot of them still in the air, but they're very old. Boy, this has become like a full-time beat, hasn't it? Yeah, the crisis in the air beat. Planes in peril. Alex, sounds very good. Thank you for coming on with us. All right, now I'm going to hear the story. I'm going to wait around for the commercial break. I got to hear what's going on with Jason. Sometimes I get really excited. My job there. All right, that's Alex Stone from ABC News, and we are going to get into the news and stories next. Don Colbell Show. KFI AM 640. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
President Biden has wrapped up a roughly 24-hour visit to Southern California today by visiting a library in Culver City to announce his latest effort to forgive billions of dollars in student loan debt. He also made an unscheduled stop at a cafe in Baldwin Hills to pick up a breakfast burrito. A large hospital in Alabama has paused in vitro fertilization treatments as healthcare providers weigh the impact of a state court ruling that frozen embryos are the legal equivalent to children. And Apple has joined the sports app arena. Apple Sports is available to iPhone users so they can access real-time score, stats, and live betting odds. Southland weather from KFI, partly cloudy tomorrow. Highs 50s to around 70. This report brought to you by Wendy's. We're going back to the 91 in Anaheim.
91 eastbound, right before Brookhurst Street. Took out that wreck at the lock in the carpool lane. Also in Downey on the 710 north before Firestone. Got that disabled vehicle in the second lane from your left. Needed to crawl on that northbound side all the way from Rosecrans. Then 605 northbound right at the 5. Got a crash making its way over to the right shoulder. And in Pacoima on the 5 southbound before the 118. Got a new accident on the shoulder there.
KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jenny Harman.
Wendy's Breakfast, 2 for $3 biggie bundles lets you choose your perfect duo from your fave 4, like a sausage or egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, or medium hot coffee. Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. pricing participation may vary. Not valid in the combo. Single item at regular price.
This report is sponsored by personal injury firm Owen Patterson and Owen.
I'm Susan Owen, managing partner at personal injury law firm Owen Patterson and Owen. That means I oversee everything. For over 47 years, OPO-Lot has been and will always be there when you need us. Call us today, 888-OPO-WIN or OPOLot.com.
Is your driveway a disaster? Has your patio seen better days? Is your backyard